This week, we have news about a ceasefire in the Black Sea. Also, we have news on the recent ICE operation in Massachusetts that resulted in nearly 400 arrests. And we have news about a Chili's restaurant opening in Scranton, inspired by the TV show The Office. All this and much more coming up on TVM News.
Good afternoon and welcome to TV-Marywood News. Today is Friday, March 28th. I'm Alexia Bauer.
And I'm Caitlin Klotz. Today we have news about a woman starting an intentional fire in Luzerne County.
So we have news about the death of a teenage boy from a major car accident.
And we'll be checking in with weather anchor Brielle Sheeland and sports anchor Vincent Goldschmidt to find out the latest in Marywood and professional sports.
This week, Marywood held its Chef Madness event. For more, we'll go to Tara Gladley.
Over the course of 3 days, Marywood-University showcased their Chef Madness event, featuring its students in a culinary food battle that's sure to knock your socks off. Each student who volunteered for the event was then teamed up with a mentor to guide them through each round. As many hungry students and faculty headed for the buffet, a series of drop boxes were placed so that people could vote for their favorite chefs and help pick out a winner. In the meantime, be sure to follow Marywood Dining to get announcements on who won once the votes have been counted. With TVM News, this is Tara Gladney.
Tomorrow from 10 to 11:30 a.m., join us for a hoppy good time at our Easter Bunny breakfast, filled with good food, great company, and plenty of fun as we reconnect with old friends and celebrate our shared memories. Every child in attendance will receive a gift bag filled with sweet treats. Bring your camera for pictures with the bunny.
Marywood-University is hosting an intramural basketball game at the Athletic Center in Instalaco Arena on Sunday, March 30th from 5 to 10 p.m. Contact malloy@marywood.edu for more information.
Saturday, March 29th from 12 to 1, come and see Hansel and Gretel Children's Theater Performance, located in the Sette La Vergetta Center for Performing Arts, Room 100 Theater.
On Thursday, April 3rd, the Nazareth Center is hosting an open mic night from 7 to 9. For more information, contact Sam Oyik at m.marywood.edu. When we come back, we'll tell you about a bill that has designed and raised minimum wages in Pennsylvania.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive.
State Police Tuesday morning in a press release say that a crash along Route 6 in Mashopin Township last Wednesday resulted in a death of a teenager from Bradford County. 19-year-old Ian Keenan of a New Albany was merging onto Route 6 from a Bluestone Road 6 when pulled out of directly in front of a passing flatbed tractor trailer when crash seriously wounded him and his passenger, an 18-year-old man from Wyalusing. Keenan would later pass on Friday, March 21st, according to the Luzerne County Coroner.
State police, fire marshals, and inspectors from neighboring Luzerne counties returned to Avoca on Monday to continue the probe of this weekend's fire. Investigators were back on the scene Monday, combing through what was left. A woman and her dog perished in the blaze. Officials said her name has not yet been publicly released, but she was fondly remembered by those who lived nearby. Avoca police tell sources that they believe the fire started by accident in the kitchen.
A Pennsylvania senator has introduced a bill designed to raise the Commonwealth minimum wage of $15 per hour by next year, with annual cost of living adjustments. Therefore, after Senate Bill 19, introduced by Senate Christine Tagaloin, a Democratic representative of Northern Philadelphia, would also ensure that tipped workers earned at least 70% of minimum wage and would strengthen projections against the wage theft. Pennsylvania currently minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is the lowest allowed in federal law and has not increased since 2006. Every neighboring state has raised a minimum wage, leaving Pennsylvania the least competitive labor market in the region.
A former Schuylkill County officer was arrested after impersonating police and having a fake temporary license plate during a traffic stop. Abreu Nunez, 32, of Hazleton, was convicted. The convict stated he was an off-duty police officer and provided a Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission identification card from a department in Schuylkill County. Officers contacted the department and found that Abreu Nunez had not worked there in about a year.
A labor union representing more than 11,000 registered nurses, allied professionals across Pennsylvania is calling for a state representative to pass legislation to design and help protect health workers from workplace violence. The Pennsylvania Association of Staff Nurses and Allied Professionals, citing data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, said healthcare workers represented 73% of all non-fatal workplaces injured in illnesses due to violence in 2018.
A former Schuylkill County officer was arrested after impersonating police and having a fake temporary license plate during a traffic stop. Abreu Nunez, 32, of Hazleton, was convicted. The convict stated he was an off-duty police officer and provided a Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission identification card from a department in Schuylkill County. Officers contacted the department and found that Abreu Nunez did not work there in about a year.
When we come back, we'll tell you about a ballot fraud stretching back to 2023 in Connecticut.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you, get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
The U.S. State Department has upped its travel advisory for Trinidad and Tobago, a Caribbean island off the northeast coast of Venezuela, due to a state of emergency. The department issued a Level 3 travel advisory to the island, meaning Americans should reconsider travel because of heightened risks of terrorism and kidnapping. On December 30th, 2024, the government of Trinidad and Tobago declared a nationwide state of emergency, SOE. The State Department website reads, "This is due to ongoing criminal activity that could threaten public safety." On January 13, 2025, Parliament extended the SOE until April 2025. During the ongoing SOE, Trinidadian officials have the authority to arrest people upon suspicion of illegal activity and search public and private properties. Bail has also been suspended for those accused of committing a crime.
President Donald Trump revealed that a staffer with national security advising Mike Waltz's office included the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic in the Signal group chat with Senator Trump officials who were discussing plans for an upcoming strike on Houthi rebels in Yemen. The president added that Goldberg's inclusion in the group chat had no impact at all on the strike in Yemen.
The U.S. Customs and Enforcement Agency, ICE, announced that a massive operation in Massachusetts resulted in nearly 400 arrests, including over 200 apprehensions of illegal immigrants who had serious criminal convictions or charges. The operation, which took place between March 18th and March 23rd, netted the arrest of 370 illegal immigrants in the Boston area. Among those, 205 of the immigrants arrested had significant criminal convictions or charges. The release noted, including 6 who were currently facing charges or convictions for murder, drug trafficking, organized crime, and money laundering.
Ballot fraud concerns stretching back to judicially overturned 2023 election in Connecticut's largest city had led state lawmakers to spar over how to reform the system after dozens of criminal charges were lodging into the latest cases there on Monday. Republican leaders told sources that they have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to probe whether election crimes in Bridgeport that led to the indictments are part of the larger coordinated effort to defraud voters statewide, adding the Democrats' 2 new election reform bills drafted in the response to the latest case missed the mark.
Delegations from Russia and Ukraine on Tuesday agreed to a ceasefire in the Black Sea following talks with Trump administration officials this week in Saudi Arabia. The United States and Russia have agreed to ensure safe navigation to eliminate the use of force and prevent the use of commercial vessels for military purposes in the Black Sea. The White House said in a statement following talks in Jeddah. Similarly, just moments later, Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov, who is leading the delegation, confirmed that all parties have agreed to ensure safe navigation, eliminate the use of force, and prevent the use of commercial vessels for military purposes in the Black Sea.
Democratic California Representative Maxine Waters suggested President Donald Trump should investigate and potentially deport First Lady Melania Trump during the anti-Doge protest in Los Angeles over the weekend. Melania Trump was born in the former Yugoslavia and became a U.S. citizen in 2006. According to official government biographies of the First Lady, she is the First Lady to become a naturalized citizen and the second First Lady to be born outside of the U.S., following President John Quincy Adams' wife, Louisa Catherine Johnson Adams, who was born in London in 1775.
The Justice Department said this week that it invoked the state secrets privilege in ongoing court battle over the deportations of Venezuelan nationals to El Salvador, a national security tool that allows the government to withhold certain information from the courts for national security purposes. In the 10-page court filing submitted to the U.S. District Judge James Boasberg, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and the other senior Trump administration officials said they had to invoke the privilege because disclosure would pose as what they described as a reasonable danger to national security and foreign affairs.
A GOP lawmaker is moving to have Representative Jasmine Crockett d. Texas formally rebunked by the House of Representatives for appearing to mock Texas Governor Greg Abbott's disability. Representative Randy Weber, our Texas Crockett's fellow delegate member, told sources he would also introduce censure resolutions against the Democratic lawmaker imminently.
Up next, we have a story about the anniversary of the American Revolution.
I think it's really cool.
It just represents, light.
A very large lantern certainly gets people's attention.
The roughly 200-pound lantern stands proudly in the heart of America's history. The Great Lantern is part of Concord 250, a commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the start of the American Revolution.
We're commemorating the day and how that day changed the world, but we're also commemorating how that has changed over the years since then.
We cut it all out with the CNC router, and then we had to roll it on a roller.
Bill Crosby was commissioned by Art for All, a Concord-based community arts organization, to build the larger-than-life lantern.
We're following sort of a typical Paul Revere small lantern.
One if by land, two if by sea. The only surviving lantern used to signal the British movements the night of April 18, 1775, sits inside the Concord Museum.
So we were just had to scale everything up and actually make it work.
And work it does. More than 100 people gathered outside as a group of cyclists riding Paul Revere's route from Boston, carrying an LED torch, set fire to the candle inside.
And if it's the sort of thing that gets people out and interested in the 250th, we're so excited.
Welcome back. Up next, we'll check this week's weather forecast. Over to you, Brielle. Thanks, Alexia. We're looking at rainy but warmer days ahead. Today is going to reach 59 and dip to 51 towards the evening, although it seems today's clouds might turn into showers. This weekend will be warming up, however. Saturday, we're looking at the temperatures in the mid-70s and scattered clouds. And Sunday, we may see more rain and temperatures reaching 63. Starting next week, it's looking like most likely rain and higher humidity. Temperatures on Monday will remain in the mid-50s and low 60s, but Tuesday and Wednesday will drop to the high 40s, with Tuesday being the only weekday we may not see rain. To end off the week, of course, we're looking at more predicted rain showers, with Thursday reaching 64 and Friday's high at 58. With your TVM weather forecast, this is Brielle Sheeland.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. That surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
TVM sports anchor Vincent Goldschmidt has the latest happening in Marywood and national sports. Over to you, Vincent.
Thanks, Katie. The junior duo of Caitlin Smith and Avery Meehan continue to make their presence known as the Pacers swept a trio of games in the last week with conference play on the horizon. Smith was the primary goal scorer, as across 3 games she netted 10 goals while assisting 7, with Meehan scoring 7 of her own, setting up 11 goals in a week that saw Marywood outscore their opponents 54-23. The performances led to Smith earning her second Atlantic East Conference Player of the Week nomination, while Meehan was named to the weekly honor roll. The Pacers have one final non-conference bout, heading to Montclair State to face the Redhawks before starting their Atlantic East schedule. The Marywood baseball team collected a massive upset win against Keystone College ahead of their first AEC series. On Tuesday, the Pacers faced off against the 23rd ranked Giants. Across the first 6 innings, the game was tightly contested, tied at 3 apiece, before the Pacers would rally, scoring 7 runs in the final 3 frames to clinch a 10-4 victory. Marywood opens AEC play against Centenary University starting this afternoon. Marywood's track and field team remains one of the best in Division III, with this week serving as another reason why. A quartet of Pacers swept the Atlantic East Conference Awards after an impressive meet at King's College. For the women's team, Lainey Straub was the AEC Track Athlete of the Week, finishing first in the 1500, ranking 3rd place in Pacers history for the event, while Kaylee Fernandez-Naughton was the best competitor in the long jump, measuring at 14 feet 8 inches. As for the men's side, Jack Baronski was the first place finisher in the 800 and 1500, respectively, en route to the AEC Track Athlete of the Week, with Will Kalinich earning the nomination of Field Athlete of the Week with 2 third-place rankings in javelin and discus. The wait for the MLB season is over as opening day kicked off the regular season stateside following the Tokyo series from last week. Some of the noteworthy results from the first day of baseball were the Phillies picking up an extra innings victory against the Washington Nationals, the Orioles having a home run barrage versus the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Astros spoiling the Mets debut of Juan Soto. With 161 more games, fans are locked into what is destined to be an exciting 2025 season. With the NFL draft drawing close, it seems as if one team might have resolved their QB needs before their selection. The New York Giants and 36-year-old quarterback Russell Wilson agreed to a one-year deal worth up to $21 million. Most recently, Wilson was the starting play caller for the Pittsburgh Steelers, leading the team to a 6-6 record when he was active, including their season-ending playoff loss at the hands of their AFC North rivals, the Baltimore Ravens. With the latest in sports, I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. TVM News will return after these messages.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When the Teen Titans go to the movies, they know the best way to travel is safely. To keep your child safe, be sure to use the right car seat for their age and size.
Exactly.
Hollywood, here we come! The Atom has arrived!
Have a seat, my dude. For more information on finding the right seat, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Impressive.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Moana 2 has broken streaming records. Let's take a look.
This is a call from the ancestors.
It's still smooth sailing for Moana 2. After topping $1 billion at the worldwide box office, the sequel has had more than 27 million views in its first 5 days on Disney+.
We go on these long emotional journeys to make this, and you really don't know how people will react to it. But to be there, and for me especially, part of my cultural heritage comes from Samoa, and to be with people from the community that you are celebrating and seeing their reaction and it being so positive is absolutely incredible.
At any given moment, there are 27 million reef wildlife individuals in the aquarium pipeline. The pipeline begins at the point of capture, and it ends when the fish goes belly up in a home aquarium.
The documentary Aquariums, The Dark Hobby claims a high percentage of tropical fish in people's homes die within a year, fueling a constant need for collecting more from the world's oceans. The film shows the vital role of the fish in the health of coral reefs and how the tropical fish trade threatens their existence. Aquariums, The Dark Hobby, produced by Martin Sheen, debuts Tuesday on digital platforms. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Alexia, so I have never seen the second Moana movie. I liked the first one, but I just know that I am deathly afraid of the ocean. So I don't know how I would do with that, because watching that and her in front of the giant whale, that gave me chills. What about you?
Yeah, I don't like the ocean. I'm not a big fan. I have seen Moana 1 and Moana 2. Me personally, I like the first one, but I am getting my grandma fish for her birthday.
No way, when?
Tomorrow is her birthday. I'm getting her a little blue betta fish.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so sweet. But unfortunately, that's going to have to do it for this week's edition of TV-Marywood News.
Make sure to like and subscribe to the TVM-Marywood page and see the latest TVM content, and follow the TVM Instagram to stay up to date with everything TVM has to offer.
For Vincent Goldschmidt, Brielle Sheeland, and everyone at TVM News, I'm Caitlin Klotz.
And I'm Alexia Bauer. Have a great weekend, Marywood.